Bake Club, what's up? Okay, today we are hanging with two very cool, very creative people, Benny and Carolina from Eat Good NYC. You need these two in your life because they are gonna just fill your gas tank with what it is like to bring your creativity into your work life and make it a profession. But not only that, everything that they do, everything that they make just fills my creative sails. It fills my creative mind. It inspires me. Everything they do is delicious, and everything they do is a work of art. Yeah. Benny, Carolina, hi. Welcome to Bake Club.
Hey, party time! Let me get my bag of tricks.
It's a party. It's Bake Club.
Over here.
Now you're throwing a party right now. You two, so happy to see you and so happy to have you on Bake Club. Okay, so this is called Teach Me Something. What are you going to teach us?
All right, what are we going to do? So it's holiday season coming up, right? And honestly, like one of the questions we always get is how to do like cutout cookies for the holiday, because I mean, they can be a disaster, but it's so simple. It's like, there's just like simple tricks we can teach that are just gonna like make it foolproof. So I think that's what we're doing today.
We're going cutout. We're going to cutout cookie land. Can you give us just eyes on one of the just one of them? Because I don't want to spoil all the rest of them. Will you just give us eyes on one of the fabulous ladies in front of you so that club knows we're not just talking about a tiny little circle that looks cute?
I know. Well, I think from far away, it's hard to see what it is. But
well, this right here is our Vice P right here.
Yes.
Miss Kamala Harris.
Yes.
There you go.
Come on.
Shout out to her. You know, and the rest
Also,
over here.
Have you
all ladies as well.
Have you seen her baking videos?
No. What?
She's
I saw a cooking video with what's her name and her, but yeah. I love
She's just standing in the kitchen, cracking eggs, laughing it up, having a good time. Which I
love her energy, so I'm sure it's amazing, and we will.
It's so good. Okay. You're gonna teach us how to make a cutout cookie, which is like such a move for the holiday season, but also like there are some secrets to what makes a good cutout cookie and what is like a disastrous cutout cookie before you even get to like your brilliant designs on top. Like what you do when you're mixing is like a really big piece of it, right?
Totally. I mean, you want to make sure they stay the shape you want. You want like even if you're making like, you know, a little dog or something, you don't want like a fat dog after you go kick out of the oven. So
you're making a poodle and instead it's a pug.
I know, right? No. Yeah, but I think we do this recipe for all our sugar cookies and everything, and people just love it. So, and we love it too. So yeah.
Amazing. All right, give us the lowdown. I'm ready. I have my ingredients. I have my bowl. I'm ready.
Yes. So first part is my fave, zest our lemon and zestify our sugar. So,
which I think is so smart. So why do you put lemon zest in there?
It just gives the sugar cookie like a little bright pop, and it just like to me it kind of brings that butter out too, and I love it. Especially not just like lemon essence. Yeah. Lemon like zest.
Lemon zest. It just gives it a nice fresh taste, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you just like bite into it. It's so delicious.
But like rub it in your sugar, like get the oils going. Like that's what I'm saying.
That's how it's done. And so the zest of 1 lemon and 3/4 cup of sugar.
Correct.
Yes.
But you like that lemon zest to chill out in the sugar for a little bit. Look at you. You're giving it some TLC.
Yeah, I'm getting lots of love here. Just rub it between your fingers and just it smells so good.
I love it. Okay, so Benny, you learned how to bake from your mom, right?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I would just like be in the kitchen, just trying to get some batter, I'm trying to lick the bowl. And, and just over time, it just kind of, I just kind of picked it up, I mean, like I didn't do it on purpose, you just sit there and you watch your mom put the eggs in, she'll put the flour, and and then after that, it kind of just became like, like by memory for me when I got older. So
I love that.
Thank you.
Pro move. The lemon and the sugar is such a pro move, to your point, for like freshness, zest, edge. something maybe unexpected but simple, but also like really acknowledging that it's the oils in the lemon zest and that sugar is where it's going to be best captured first.
Exactly.
Okay, together. What's
So
next?
That and next.
Now we take the butter.
Ooh, and that's
Cups of butter.
3/4 cups of butter.
So that's a stick and a half.
Stick it in. Yes.
stick and a half. And do you all have a type of butter you like to use?
Unsalted butter.
Always
you know,
unsalted.
Yeah, and we use. I mean, obviously, we need to use like a nice quality butter.
Yeah.
Much as I know, butter is quite expensive, but use a good one, and then you'll be much happier.
Yeah.
But like we usually like to go to Costco. You know what I mean? Some places
You gotta buy it in bulk, man. That's called
Exactly.
purchasing power.
Exactly.
Exactly. Even though those Costco lines nowadays are a little crazy.
Yeah, no, I can't do that right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna start mixing the butter and the sugar until it's nice and fluffy.
Got it. And so these are all about a really nice canvas, I imagine, right? Like they have a great flavor to them, but it's about something delicious that's a canvas for the work that you do on top as well, huh?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. How long do you mix the lemon zest, the sugar, and that stick and a half of butter?
Well, I definitely cheat a little bit with the stand mixer. So until it's like light and fluffy, I mean, I need to see those muscles, Christina.
Yeah, man.
I'm after it for you
Like
today, Mama. But I find when I'm doing it by hand that if I nuke it for just, like 15 seconds, something to make it soft, it makes the creaming part a lot more reasonable. You know what I mean?
I kind of love that we're doing this both ways. We get our own tips on how to do it by hand and whatever.
Dropping some knowledge. Thank you. I didn't even know that.
Stop it. Okay.
All right.
So we got our 3/4 cup of sugar, our 1 zest of lemon, our 3/4 cup of unsalted butter. Oh, I see you. So it's equal parts butter to sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Smart.
Right now we got
Get that one egg.
Get the one egg.
1 egg.
And at this point, we can also put in our vanilla extract.
Ooh, how much vanilla are we rocking? Ooh.
We're doing 2
I love-
teaspoons of vanilla.
I love you for that. I love vanilla. And anytime there's a recipe that's like more than 1 teaspoon, I'm like, those are
Yes.
I'm gonna like those flavors.
People are so scared of the vanilla extra, but no. You know what I also love is the vanilla paste. Oh, it's amazing. I just ran out. We usually use that, but it's so amazing.
Why do you think people are scared of vanilla extract? Do they think it's gonna overpower?
Yeah, exactly.
I think everybody thinks extract is like so strong and potent.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you put too much, oh my god, it can be overwhelming. So you just got to put the right amount of mouth.
Yeah. Because
Someone taught me that a pastry chef in Austin taught me that if you didn't want to use vanilla extract, you could use parsnip.
What?
Like a little bit of like parsnip essence or grated parsnip or parsnip puree, which I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And also I'm so curious about trying it.
I'm super interested because I literally just eat parsnip for dinner.
I know. That blew my mind. I was like, I don't know. I got to try that one out.
God,
Okay.
I know, because I feel like I always like put it with like a ton of stuff like ricotta cheese and everything when I puree it. So I don't know by itself, like I didn't even know that it possibly had.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna try this. I'm coming back to you if it does.
Okay. I love
parsnip cookies. I don't know.
So now I have this like really amazing fluffy,
I know.
like homogeneous emulsified mixture.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Nice, and fluffy, and amazing. Same.
You on the same page?
I love it. Okay, so we've got all of our butter, sugar, lemon zest, egg, vanilla.
And next is just the dry ingredients.
Dry.
The flour.
Okay.
We have the 2 1/4 cup. You might want to keep around a little bit just in case, for dusting, or maybe, a little dusting, and then sometimes if the dough looks a little bit too wet, you just want to like, when we start mixing, we just want it to just come off the sides. So.
Got it. And so like in sugar cookie, like the sugar cookie translation of that is the sort of like, hey, everyone's kitchen is a kind of different humidity. Everyone lives in different places. And a sugar cookie holds its like beautiful sharp edges based on its moisture content or lack thereof. And that's kind of, aside from the secret of like lemon zest and the balance of sugar and butter and all the vanilla extract.
Yeah.
Then it's really about the spread of it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's where, okay, got it. So it's 2 1/4, but you'll talk us through how we know to add more.
Yeah. Correct. And then also your baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
Got it.
And 1/4 teaspoon of salt just to give it that little
And these are for flavor.
Yes.
Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm loving this recipe.
And, you know, and what I try to tell people, especially with the baking powder, is like you need to put the right amount, because if you put more than that, you know, like the recipe actually asks for, it'll mess up the whole situation.
Like it starts to get weird and wonky and baked.
Yeah.
It's just uneven.
Yeah.
And then also just like make sure you're like, I feel like when I first started, I had my baking powder for like 2 years. And like, I was just like, oh, it's just good. No, like you want to switch out your baking powder every few.
Oh, that's a really good point too, Carolyn.
Same thing with your baking soda. Yep.
Make sure your leaveners are within like the baking year, i.e. still using the stuff you used last time holiday season. Also, they're like $1 a piece, maybe $1.
I know. Like, come on.
You can replace it.
Yeah.
So how long do we mix this lovely mixture together?
Until you can get it to be a nice little dough. So if you're using a stand mixer like us, we like to look at it and see like when it starts kind of coming off the sides, but not too long because you don't want to overwork your batter. So we're starting to get like a little ball on our paddle. Benny's just scraping down the sides to get all that buttery goodness and make sure we evenly distribute it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's see how it's going on your side.
That's like stand mixer key, right? Like that stuff hidden down below and in between. You got to be careful.
And you can go from the fast to the slow so you can control a little bit.
This is so interesting. Man, I have to say, I'm so intrigued by this recipe because I know your cutout cookies. Not only do I know them visually, because they're always just these like insane, incredible, eye-popping, eye-catching works of art, but they're also so tasty. And I grew up with like the cutout cookie recipe that belonged to one of my grandmas, and it was butter, light brown sugar, flour, and salt, just 4 ingredients. And so what you get out of it is a very specific flavor and a very specific, I don't know, ness. But if you tried to take that cookie and decorate it and make it into what you all make a sugar cookie into at Eat Good NYC, it wouldn't work at all. And that's like my favorite part of these kind of recipe shares is how you can switch the most basic ingredients to yield different results for different, you know what I mean, different purposes.
Yeah, and for us, like we like a lot of sugar cookies that you see bake out really thin or too crispy, but we love like a kind of chewy cookie, kind of soft, and like that's what we like about our recipe because you get that nice, you know, we roll it out to a nice little height, but when you bake it, you don't really get too much spread, so you get a lot of that softness inside. So
I think that's a really good one. Because it is a little it's not fluffy, but to your point, it's chewy, and in a way that really complements how you decorate the cookie as well, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of moisture that it gets from that, and it really does. It's not snappy, to your point. It's not that like super thin, snappy, to your point, almost like crispy caramelized. It's a totally different experience in a really like lovely dream-like way.
That's why we don't usually put brown sugar in ours, so we use the white sugar.
Yeah.
You control that moisture there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted to point out with the like with the dough, it's like sometimes it does stay like a little wet. So I like to like add a little bit more flour.
Yeah.
Just to, you know.
Interesting. Mine, knowing that I put 2 1/4 in, mine is not wet at all.
Oh.
Mine is beautiful hydration, but Bake Club, this is also like when we're measuring in cups, not grams, and my kitchen and the butter that I use, depending on the brand, even though it's all unsalted, really nice butter, there's always these little degrees. But to Betty's point, you just don't want it to be like sticky to the touch.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So now it's good. So I'm just gonna take this bad boy up.
Yes. So now, what we love to do to get really nice, smooth sides on both sides of the cookie, we like to roll ours between 2 sheets of parchment paper.
Ooh. So you don't get like a jaggedy top and a smooth bottom or other.
Exactly. And it makes it easier to roll too. We're just gonna we can move the mixer over so then you have more room.
Ooh. Hold on, I'm going for
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Our move, rolling it between 2 pieces of parchment paper.
Yes.
How long did you all to come up with that?
I mean, I've always done it like that, just because I also don't like to get dirty and like sticky and everything. So I feel like I love doing it with the parchment paper because my parchment paper is my friend. So yeah.
Also, for a moment, take a beat because I can never not eat cookie dough when it's in front of me. It's so good.
Yes.
It is like the balance of it is it's not too sweet, which sometimes in sugar cookie form, you're like, it's a sugar cookie, so it should taste like sugar. But there is a softness to it in a way that you know it's not going to be crispy. You can really start to like observe that texture that the egg helps give.
Yep.
And that lemon zest is just brilliant in there. It is a secret weapon to this dough.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah, and especially like because with our cookies, like we put like a lot of fondant and and other sugar components on it.
It gives it a good balance.
Exactly. We don't want to like overwhelm people with sugar.
Yeah.
So
especially if you decide to do like royal icing or something, that's super sweet, and you just want something to balance it.
Totally.
Yes.
Okay. So I have the parchment. You flour it.
We flour the parchment, and we also flour a little bit on the top once we drop the dough on. So
exactly. That's that.
This is so smart. To your point of like, I love making sugar cookies, but like when you're done rolling it out, and then your whole counter is kind of like scraps and butter and flour, and you're like, how might you ruin your sponge trying to like pull it all up?
Exactly.
We're all about the vibes here, and I feel like chaos. It's like I can't. I'm literally screaming at Benny all the time when there's chaos, or I'm hitting things, or there's just like flour. I'm just like, it's all your fault, and I don't know why, but it just is.
So what is it like to work together and be together?
It's been really easy for us, honestly.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think our personalities just match so well. And we just have obviously we bicker and like any other couple on a like fun, but it's all love and it's all just like,
Yeah, you know what? It's just about like separating business from your love life. It's about, it's like if we have some type of disagreement on the business end, like, hey, this is business. But when it's time to put that to the side, okay, it's time to be a couple. And, it is about separating. So.
And communicating. Oh my God. Yeah, like you can't. We spend so much time together. You can't even hold anything against each other or like hide anything from each other because you literally can sense it. And when you've been together,
that's interesting.
Yeah, you just kind of know each other's personalities so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I feel like that's gotta be like couples therapy 101 that like you learn by like a therapist where like someone will be like, stop hiding from each other, where you're like, we really have no option. There is no such thing as hiding.
I don't know.
Hiding.
Oh, legit.
Yeah, doesn't the parchment paper make it so much easier?
Yeah.
Oh,
it is. I'm gonna change my entire technique to rolling on parchment
Whoa,
paper.
wait a minute. Christina is
Benny.
changing her method because
Benny, now you better trademark that, dude. I will give you full credit every time I do this. I promise you that. But this is so easier.
Next time I see you on TV and you're doing it, I will know.
Yeah, I better be like, eat good NYC. That's all I have to say. If you don't know, better ask somebody.
I'm not gonna cry or write it in my bio. Learn something from me. I mean, I'm not doing that. Totally doing that. But
I mean,
we should. I forgot to mention we should roll it around 1/4 inch thickness.
yes.
But if you're gonna do anything special, like what we might do is imprinting. We usually like to do just a slightly like a fat 1/4 of an inch. So get a little room to imprint the cookies. But
y'all, can I say one more time? This is the most brilliant technique, rolling it between two floured pieces of, I mean, my mind is blown. The number of times I have wrestled with cookie dough, cut out cookie dough and rolling it and getting it just right.
Yeah.
This is insane. Also, dough is so friendly to roll out. It has just the right amount of hydration, so it's not sticky, but it also isn't so dry that you're trying to like patch it back together and use the warmth of your hand.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the reason why we put the flour like on top and at the bottom, so it doesn't get too sticky to the parchment paper.
And not only that, with cutout cookies, you're always gonna take the leftover dough that you cut out and make more dough. If you have something too dry and you keep doing that, the cookie isn't gonna come out right. So it gives you room to still be able to like reshape it so you can roll it out again and it won't affect the bake. So there you go. And so now it's ready to go into the it's so easy to pick up to put onto your sheet pan.
BRB.
I'm gonna eat half the dough. I don't want to.
You're just gonna eat this whole dough.
I'm gonna have rolled out the dough and never baked anything because of it. Oh my god!
The cookie dough.
Yeah. So we like to cheat and put it in the freezer sometimes if we're like on a rush, but usually like 15 minutes in the fridge is good. But in the freezer we can do like 5 minutes and then we're good to go. So
absolutely
brilliant.
Yes.
And then what do you all typically do when it's chilling, when it's like holding its shape? So always chill the dough before you cut it.
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Most people make the dough, chill the dough, and then roll it out, which is actually, now that I'm doing with you, kind of an insane thing because you want your dough to be as friendly and pliable as possible when you go to roll.
Exactly.
And then you chill the dough to relax it and set it in place, which again, I think is going to give you, no matter what cutout cookie dough you're using, though you're silly if you're not using this one. The chiller the dough, the less spread you're going to get outright.
Yeah. And the key for us is double chilling. So after we cut out the cookie, we're gonna chill again, and that's when you like keep the perfect. And even better is just sticking it in the freezer before you put it in the oven after you cut out, because that really holds your shape. So that's our little
double freeze.
It's a good fact.
I'll tell you what. I love hanging out with you professional sugar cookie bakers. I mean, you also do more than sugar cookies. Y'all make some crazy cakes and beyond, but like this preach to the sugar cookie professional is my home sugar cookie game has definitely been raised over the last year.
well, we're honored to be a part of that.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, so you chill the dough, you cut the dough. You chill the dough again, and then you bake the dough.
Correct.
And do you have to spread your double chilled shapes out far, or can you keep them like 1 or 2 inches apart?
1 or 2 inches is solid. It doesn't spread too much, but it's good. I would really say it.
Okay, amazing. Okay, well okay, and then what do we bake them at when we get to that place?
350 degrees, nice and solid.
Amazing. And then it's sort of like, hey man, it depends on how big or small your shape is to how long you bake them for.
Exactly. Like I would say solid, like smaller size cookies, 8 to 9 minutes is good.
About.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like maybe like your 2.5 inch circle to 3 inches. I think we usually do about 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And then just kind of play out. Just keep an eye out around 10 minutes. When you do that, you start seeing that golden brown edge, then you're good. Because you want to keep that slightly soft, chewy. Like you might think it's not done, but it is done.
Got it. You'd rather put out once you're starting to see a little color on the edge than getting it to like Target color. Because if you're at Target color, that cookie's not going to be that sort of soft, billowy bounce that you want it to be.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also like a little tip that I got from my mom when I was a kid. Honestly, I don't even know if it's actually a thing, but I mean, when I do it, like I see that my cookies come out very moist. I get like a pan, I put water in the pan, and I put it in the oven to put under the cookies, and they come out very moist, and I love it personally.
Interesting. So you put a little pan of water in so that it heats up. It creates a little bit more steam in the oven when the cookies are baking to make sure that you have a great bake, but you still have that bounce and that chew, that soft sugar cookie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell you that growing up, my favorite like grocery store, if I was like being a good kid and I went grocery shopping with my mom, my favorite thing, like she'd be like, okay, you can get it, was this really big, soft sugar cookie. You know, like the bakery, fresh bakery part of the grocery. The only thing I ever wanted was this big, soft, bouncy sugar cookie that always was like just like this yellow with like brown eyes and a smiley face, like that classic. And I totally forgot how obsessed I was with it until we're talking about it now. And I can't decide if I've placed my memory there, but I feel like there was always the slightest lemon flavor. And I can't decide now if I'm like taking the moment of your delicious dough and inserting it into my childhood memory or not. Now I'm like, man, I gotta get home and get one of those sugar cookies. I'm so excited to bake these things off. Okay, so chill, cut, chill, bake. And then comes the other part of your brilliance, which is decorating.
Yes. So we have some dough that we already chilled before, so we can take that out. We can kind of talk a little bit of that.
Perfect.
So we have so many ways you can decorate. I mean, for us, you know, I remember when we started this and we started doing cookies. Actually, we started doing cupcakes originally. I think, you know, with our story, you know, we started doing cupcakes. We started the whole like selfie trend. Like you see people doing selfie things on everything. Benny and I did this like 6 years ago. And that's kind of how our brand started. You know, we made faces of people we really admired, not just celebrities, influencers, and people that we really looked up to.
Absolutely.
And I think just a quick story. The first face we did was actually Aquafina.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's from the fame of, what's the movie again? I forgot.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. Yes. And the other movie.
Our show.
Well, that's it. That's it. She, you know, that community. Benny used to be a promoter. At a club.
I
guess I should tell the story real quick. So I used to do like party promoting and stuff like that because I was just doing a bunch of stuff in my early 20s, just trying to figure out life, you know. So I was doing that, and for some reason, Aquafina was a DJ that night. So then I was like, okay, we need to do something special for her. So I was like, okay, like what can we do? And then we were just like, I don't know, can we put her face on a cupcake? And then we were just like, is that even possible? And then we were just like, let's try it. So then we tried it. We put the glasses on with her, and then she was like a blue hat. So we put the blue hat, the glasses, and everything. And then we brought it to her that night, and she loved it. She was like, "Oh my God,
freaking out!
This is the cutest thing she's ever seen." She posted it, and then from there we got a bunch of followers, and we're like, "Oh, we might be onto something."
Yeah. So we just kept doing people's faces just for fun. Like we weren't really expecting it. We just did it for fun.
Yeah.
And our first big, I guess, break you could call it is we did Supermodel Cara Delevingne. We put it online. She saw it. Yeah. Actually saw it. She just liked it, and our Instagram followers went crazy. Yeah. And then for some reason she was actually in New York. So Benny, being like this guerrilla marketing like genius, decided he was going to go find her, and he went.
Not in a stalking way.
Not in a stalking way.
In a loving way.
But yeah. Like
He was already spoken for. It's fine. Yeah.
So Benny actually, so he ran to Sephora, and she was inside. They locked the door. So Benny just hung out with the paparazzi. Like, who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
And she was running out to her car, like literally running out with her security. But Benny was standing behind the paparazzi with this cupcake of her face in his hand. And she looked over and she's like, what the F is that?
Because this was me with the paparazzi. Because I was like this. I was like.
Camera, but I love a cupcake.
Yeah, she stopped dead in her track, ran to him. She's like, oh my God, what the heck is that? Yeah. Take a picture with it. Next day, it was in Vogue. It was in Daily Mail. And the rest was history.
The rest is history. Yeah.
So
and now we're here.
And then you were like, we're in the cupcake business.
That was our cupcake business story. And eventually, about a year or two, I was like, we got to do outside of cupcakes. So we were like, all right, we got to finally do cookies. I was terrified of royal icing. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I do fondant. So then I was like, I don't know why it was such a moment for me. I was like, why don't I just put the fondant on the cookie and just do what I do on the cookie? It's still edible. It's still like whatever. And so that's when we started doing that. And then the rest is history. So that's signature.
I did not know that Aquafina was the one that like inspired the very first cupcake, which I just love because I also am a very big Aquafina fan. She's just so freaking hilarious and real and raw and lovable.
And like, she's just like before the fame, she's the same person. She's like before and after. She's like she was, she's in that hip hop community that we were in, and it's great. We used to hang out at this place called Fat Buddha. That's the spot.
That's the spot. Okay, a few other fun things I think Bake Club needs to know. Are you wearing shoes right now, Carolina?
Zoom style.
I'm not.
Zoom style. Man, I was like, is she gonna wear shoes? I'm not wearing shoes.
Yes!
Just want to say we're zooming barefoot today, but this girl Bake Club has the most insane collection of kits as well. I just want to say, like, fully all of the Eat Good NYC vibes. They're everywhere, from the party that's happening in their home to from head to toe, literally every sugar cookie and cupcake in between, which I love. Okay, and so Carolina, you're both artists, but Benny, you were a promoter first. So what were you doing at the time, Carolina?
I was doing everything. To be honest, I was doing that. I was also baking cupcakes for some weird reason. So I used to have like a marketing job, and I was just like, this sucks. I need to find something that's just, kind of just more like, like makes me feel something, So I quit my marketing job, and I was like, okay, what do I do that I like to do? I like fashion. I like to bake. So at that time, I was doing like a clothing baking company. So I was like selling clothes at the same time baking. So and I was just doing that for a while, but then like the baking parts kind of started to become more popular than the clothing. And I just kind of just ran with that. But we always stuck to the things that we love. And that was fashion, pop culture, and art. And, and we just kind of blended it with, the whole food thing. And it's been working for us so far,
Oh my gosh. And so wait, Carolina, what were you doing at the same time?
I have like a really interesting background. I went to school for fashion. I was a technical designer. I was a designer. I worked in fashion for a long time, over 10 years. And I just really wanted an outlet outside of it. I've always been a very crafty person. My mom always taught me, and my brother too, I was super nerd. I was born in Taiwan, and then I grew up in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And then from Argentina, I moved to North Carolina. So I've always had such a crazy life. And so I think it's what made me really, really brave. So I was kind of when I met Benny on Tinder, and he told me, what are you into? Fashion and cupcakes. I was like, this is crazy, because that's literally what I do. So
she didn't believe me.
I did not believe him. I thought he stalked my profile somewhere and just found me. But so I was doing fashion for so long. And I think I still love fashion. I love what I do there. So in this world of being entrepreneurs, you really can do your career however you want. So I was like, I want to merge food and fashion because those are the things that I love most. And that's how you succeed in life, is to really, really love what you do and be passionate about it. Absolutely. So that's why I think we vibe so well and our company is so successful, is because we are all about the culture. We're all about what we do and the world we live in. And
you know what? It's like we built this little company on things that we love, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's never boring, you know? I mean, like this week we could be working with our favorite clothing brand or doing some cupcakes for our favorite, like, you know, just anybody, musicians, celebrities, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I'm here sitting with Christina Tosi. I was like, I mean, so, you know, like, this is beautiful, and I'm so happy.
Oh, and Bake Club should know, Benny, before Christina knew who we were, Benny was working for Christina at Milk Bar.
Oh, yes.
And she didn't
I
even
got my own good NYC cupcakes. They're on the gram. I'm pulling them back up this week, Bake Club, so you can get a little. I mean, how many years ago was that, Benny? 2018, 2016?
2016, yeah.
2016.
Yeah. And I have a funny story about that. Because I was actually still baking while working for you. And I remembered I left work and I had to run to the city to go do a shoot for Refinery 29. So basically, it was me and Carolina doing a shoot on Refinery 29. I think it was like
Facebook Live.
Yeah, exactly. And then Monica, who was my manager at the time, I'm not sure if she's still the manager or not, but like she saw it, she was like, Benny, is that you? And I was just, you know, because I saw like the comments, and I was and I was like, that's hilarious. And that's the way she found out about, you know, like,
so low key about it, because I remember Carla and Monica to this day are like great friends. Carla was like, oh my gosh, do you know what Benny does when he's not at Milk Bar? And I'm like, no, I don't. And she sent me the link, and I was like, holy smokes. And she was like, he's gonna make you cupcakes. And I was like, both like so excited, and then so like, no, I don't want him to like he is already working like crazy, like a crazy man. And then also when you brought them, they were like so joyful and so amazing and so brilliant.
Thank you.
But it is true that like, if you do, I mean, it's that sort of like, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But also, I like what you said, Carolina, about the like, if you combine all the things that make you you and that you love, like that's always going to be compelling. There doesn't have to be a separation of what you love when you're working and what you love when you're not working, because the two can't ever be, you know what I mean? The two can't ever be combined. It's kind of like the relationship advice of like, you just can't hide anything. Like you can't hide the pieces of you. Yeah. And so if you're going to do something and you're going to go all in and be all of the things that you are. And I mean, y'all are, I mean, you started good. Yeah. You started Good NYC in 2014.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 years later.
6 years later, yeah.
No one's stressing. You basically worked with every amazing creative artist through whatever medium their art form comes through, and you all yourselves are like the most sought after, which is so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And we get you here. Okay, so our dough is back from the fridge, from the freezer.
Yes.
So this is here. We have our pan here. Right here. So when it's time to actually
so one of our favorite things to do, since COVID started, we started making our own cookie cutters so we could sell and ship to people and everything.
Yes.
And we wanted to make it fun for people because we're not basic people. We love trendy fun things. So actually today, one of our favorite ways to decorate, which is super easy, it's one step extra that you take with baking cookies, but still gives it an impact, is using Imprint cookie cutters. So, unfortunately, I heard you didn't get yours, but we made you little milk
You made
Cookie
you
cutter.
Yep.
So it's like cute little pink milk.
Little pink one right there.
Yes.
You know?
So it has
Special.
the outside, which is just a little bit higher, which is gonna cut the dough, and then inside the milk side, it's just about 1/8 of an inch lower, so it'll create an imprint in your cookie dough. But you can imprint with anything. You can, I know Michael's has like little shapes, like flowers or snowflakes or anything like that. Anything you can find. You can just lightly press it into your cookie dough so you get a cool design without having to decorate it or anything. It just makes it a little special. So
oh my God. Well, I'm also realizing I have the cookie cutters I have like belong to my great grandma. They're like the most delicious family. But I'm realizing like I have a bigger cutter and then a smaller cutter. So if I use the bigger cutter to do the big cut and then use the smaller cutter to like imprint the center, I just push it all the way through and I've got an imprint.
Yeah.
Y'all, these are some pro moves.
Yeah, I mean, we just like to spice things up. You know, sometimes like I like to do like the little flower ones that I have. These are for fondant, like fondant cutters. They're flowers, but I like to do like a little lavender sugar cookie and put a little flower on top. And then you can make it like kind of purplish, and then you get a real like, you know, like really aesthetically pleasing vibe. You know, with that little tiny imprint. I think it just takes it to a different level. So super simple decorating advice that you can do just to elevate your cookies.
And you can, to your point, use anything.
You can use a
cut out. You can use anything to imprint. Could you imprint by hand? You just have to have a really steady hand.
Yeah, totally. I would just, as long as you don't push all the way down, just a little nice imprint. And, you know, like for us, millimeters, if anybody cares, like 1 millimeter is a great like width on your imprint line. So, yeah, we're gonna do this little guy.
So imprint like really cool. And then can you do anything? Can you like, do you think about like a glaze or a frosting or a sugar that you bake in the imprint, or do you prefer to just let the imprint be its thing?
You can use the imprint as a guideline if you're using royal icing too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's another way. It's already, and it creates like a divot. So when you put royal icing on it, it kind of divots in and holds its shape better.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And what do you use to make these brilliant imprints at home?
I'm a super nerd. I've always been a super nerd. Like I grew up with like a computer and video games in my hands. So I decided I really wanted to learn how to use a 3D printer. And that's like, I just taught myself 3D design. Like I think I cried for 2 months because I was so frustrated. It was so different from anything else I had learned how to do. And I just figured it out. I mean, and now I'm obsessed. We print everything, like cake toppers and whatever, but.
I mean, like this has been such a big part of our business now.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we just picked it up because of pandemic. Because we were like, I mean, so like we used to sell our stuff in a store in the city, but like, you know, like when COVID came, we had to figure out different ways of actually, you know, making product, but also we wanted to give something to our clients that they could do at home themselves. Yeah. So we were just like, okay.
Doing tutorial videos and all that, how to use our cookie cutters to make equally cool things at home themselves if they don't want to like order it from us. You know, we just still want to.
Or just go to a store.
Yeah,
so,
go to a store,
Yeah. So, you know what? Like you can make your own cookies too. You can make your own custom cookies. And and that's what we did. So
So
oh my God, I love this. So if we go to Ecood and
I don't know if you can see that.
That is so insane.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, what I usually do, just to get the letters into the cookie dough a little bit more better, I would dab the cookie cutter in some flour.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
And
I feel like my indentations are real, like great grandma vibes. But look,
I love it though.
But it's like a little frame, and you could do things.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Exactly.
You're
oh my God.
Already going. I see. It's a frame. You could put someone's beautiful.
I know. This is like how my brain works.
I love this.
Oh, you know what you could do with that? You could also cut like a little small hole in the middle, and then you can even put like little Jolly Ranchers, like crushed Jolly Ranchers in the middle before you put into bake. And then when it comes out and it cools, it's like a little stained glass cookie. That's like another cool way to decorate.
Okay, excuse me, Bake Club. You just got a whole lot of inspiration to up your sugar cookie game this season. Also, you can go to Ecood NYC, continue to up the ante with these two brilliant people. Okay, you two, I just think you're amazing. I am so grateful for you joining us on Bake Club, sharing your story, inspiring us, giving us some serious pro moves in sugar cookie land, and then how to make our cutout cookies a lot better than we ever thought possible, even in the home.
My pleasure.
You are brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm Jolly Ranchering. Well, I don't know that I have a Jolly Rancher peppermint. No, I'm gonna figure something out, Caroline.
Yeah, peppermint would be good too.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You two are the best. Thank you so much. Bake Club, you better show up for Benny and Carolina on every single level. Use them as a source of inspiration. Show up and support them at Ecood NYC. Also, just prepare to be wowed by their incredible work. Who else is joining us today besides Kamala?
Oh, Naomi Osaka, another amazing girl this year. Come on now.
Girl power.
Yes.
And the queen herself, Queen B, Beyonce, Black is King.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Earrings and the glass stop you two. You are
king. She's the queen.
Thank you so much. You're the best. I know that it's the busy holiday season, so y'all are playing it cool like you have nothing else going on. I know Benny's about to be like cut, and then he's gonna run, and I know exactly.
We literally have deliveries in like 30 minutes.
That's the lifestyle.
That's the life. It's the life when you love what you do. Come on. You all are the best. Thank you so much. Bake Club, show up.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Bye.
Oh, wait.